Hey everyone, it's Blogan here. In today's lesson you'll learn raw strings. We learned how to output text on the screen, we studied escape sequences, with the help of which we can somehow format our text. Let's continue studying C++. Let's figure out what a string is in the context of the C++ language. When we learn about literals and arrays, you learn what they are in the long answer. For now, let's assume that string is a set of characters that is enclosed in double quotes. For the last few lessons, you've been displaying strings on the screen. That is, this is a string, but this is not. Cout can display not only strings but also other information. We'll talk about it in the lesson about literals. For now, let's not get distracted by it. Therefore, we remember once again, string is a set of characters enclosed in double quotes. Now, there are situations in which you need to write strings that will have a lot of backslashes and double quotes. For example, you're writing a program in which you need to save the code of an HTML page. If you don't know what it is, then don't pay attention. Just imagine that this text needs to be displayed on the screen. Let's try to output it. We can't do this just like that because we need to use escape sequences. We change our string and this is what we get. Yes, now when you run the program, you'll see the text you want, but it looks much worse in the code. In order for it to look exactly like this, we need to use a raw string. A raw string is a string in which escape sequences don't work, and every character you write will be perceived by the compiler exactly as it is. That's all. That's all the differences. Let me show you the syntax for writing this string. Any raw string must begin with a capital letter R followed by two double quotes, inside which there must be two parentheses. Inside them, you can write any text, even double quotes with backslashes. Try to display such a line on the screen and you'll see that the program outputs the text exactly as it appears in the code. Let me show you some examples of its use. The first one you already know is HTML pages. Let's try to display this HTML page code on the screen. To do this, you need to copy the code line by line. It's advisable to write a separate cout for each line to make the code clearer. We turn each string into a raw one and try to run the program. You should also know that in raw strings, when you press Enter or Tab, you kind of insert the characters \t and \n into that string. Therefore, instead of all these lines, you can write one raw string, which will look like this. And the most interesting thing is that this will also work on the display. That is, you'll see exactly this text in the program. We'll launch it and see exactly the same text. Well, in the end, raw strings can be used when you want to create strings that will have paths to files. For example, take this text. There are a lot of backslashes here. We can use a simple string, but we'll have to add another one to each of the backslashes. Or you can just use a raw string. There is one additional detail in the syntax for writing raw string that I haven't mentioned yet. You can write any text between these characters and these. This set of symbols is called delimiters. Why do you need these? The point is that there are situations where the text in a raw string may have a closing parenthesis and a closing quote. In this case, the compiler will consider their combination to be the end of the raw string and the following characters will be perceived as an error. In this case, you can indicate what is the beginning of the raw string and what is the end. To do this, you need to specify the same set of characters between the brackets and the quotes. For example, like this. We launch the program and see that everything works. And that's the end of this lesson. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, you can support me by liking this video, writing a comment under it, subscribing to the channel, donating using the link in the video description, or becoming a sponsor of my channel. All these things popularize my channel and motivate me to continue recording lessons for you. Goodbye.